I'm tired, Ben. I'm tired, mate. It's just deflating.
When's the window going to shut? Please.
Oh, it's just deflating, man. Do you know what it is? I'm going to go on a bit of a little rant here, but look, losing players is inevitable. A club our size, let's be, very open and honest. We're Brighton Hove Albion. We're not one of the top 6 clubs. Players have ambitions to play in Champions League, Europa League, whatever it might be. And we can't offer them that at the moment. It's just facts. We can't compete with salaries. We can't compete with their wages. And managers as well, elite top level managers that are other clubs. Of course, De Zerbi is quality and he's a top manager. But if you're going to compare him to the likes of Pep Guardiola and, arguably Mikel Arteta at the moment, you sort of can't. But, to see our key players just seemingly every time, it started from 2 years ago with Ben White starting it off, obviously Bissouma, Cucurella, Graham Potter leaving, Win Stanley leaving, other backroom staff leaving.
The bus driver leaving.
Obviously Trossard recently leaving. Now Caicedo doing what he done, or his agents doing what they done. There's talks of McAllister leaving, of course, at some point. There's talks of now Matoma, potentially leaving at some point.
Lamptey on loan.
And it just feels like whenever we're getting somewhere, we're making progress, we're driving towards something, a goal.
About to break the ceiling.
Yeah.
In Gus Poyet's words.
And it's just ripped away from us by, ultimately, bigger clubs putting in big offers, which ultimately we can't say no to because the player wants to leave. And if it's meeting our valuation, which again, a big shout out to Tony Bloom. I know we say it every time on the pod, but Tony Bloom, he does not budge. Unless you meet the valuation of his player, he will not sell. Simple as that. And I rate that so highly because a lot of other, chairmen will fold and they'll be like, actually, do you know what? Let's
pun there as well. He's saying fold with Tony Bloom being a poker.
Come on, poker player, love that. Didn't mean to do that, but thank you, Ben. That was great. To wrap up my little, passage there. It's frustrating, but it's understandable why players want to move on. And, as a club, we want to generate as much money as we can. It's just, I think the timing of it all, when it happens, every time it's like Potter after we beat Leicester 5-2. Caicedo, it was a couple of days before Liverpool in a big FA Cup clash.
It was like 10:30 at night. I'm about to go to bed and I start getting notifications. Sorry, I know it's Friday night, but I have shit to do in the morning. But yeah, like 10:30 at night, releasing a statement like that on social media. Obviously, a few days after getting new agents who want a quick payday. It's actually annoying that Ryan's not on here because I know he would absolutely love to rant about this and go ham on the agent stuff. So hopefully we do it justice for you, mate.
Well, let's talk about the agents.
Let's talk about the agents. Yeah, they've
got
into his head, in my opinion. They've got into his head. He's a young lad, and they've obviously all the stuff they put in that in his quote unquote quote, funny enough, about him having 10 siblings and needing to take care of them. I guarantee you that sort of stuff is stuff that the agents have said to Moyes. They said, look, you can earn X amount at Arsenal. They're about to win the league. If Arsenal weren't top of the league, by the way, he wouldn't be going right now. He wouldn't be that desperate to go. Or the agents wouldn't be that desperate to go because they obviously won a Premier League medal. But they're in his head telling him to make so much more money to help fund his family. Look where you've come from. This will be brilliant for you. They've really, really manipulated him, I think.
Yeah. 2 things on this, okay? Number one, the agents themselves have, like you said, Ben, I believe that they have influenced him. But in saying that, he has to agree. Whatever goes out, he has to agree. There's no way they've done that behind his back. And if they have, then obviously he must be thinking, well...
They spelt where he came from wrong in his quote. Apparently it was I think he comes from either Santo Domingo or Santo Domingo, but they spelt it Santo Domingo or Santo Domingo, whatever way.
Right, whichever way, yeah.
But still, that it was just copy and pasted from someone's Apple Notes.
Ben, he will have agreed to that for that to go out. He would have said, yeah, that's cool, post it, whatever. So that's number one. He has been a part to play in it, which I'm not saying that makes him in the wrong. It just means that he isn't as sort of scot-free. If it, for all we know, he could have been the one instigating it. We don't know. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
I feel like he's a very naive lad. Well, and obviously for obvious reasons, he was playing in the Ecuadorian league where stuff like this wouldn't really happen. You don't have these big businessmen telling you about all these things you can have and what you can achieve and that sort of thing. So he's been thrown into the deep end. He was only thrown into the first team back end of March last year. And now he's getting offers from Arsenal. So this isn't stuff that he's used to, or he hasn't got any advisors to help him out in that. They've just, agreed.
Completely screwed him over. Agreed. And also my second point, roughly around 5 months left of the season, or whatever. I don't know the exact sort of months, but around that, let's say 5 months. Is that too long to wait to move to another club? Do you have... Okay, you can make the argument, like you said, Arsenal are going to win the league. You can potentially win a Premier League medal.
I would say to win the league so bad now.
Yeah. No, but we're not guaranteed it is Arsenal, by the way. Like, Arsenal put a bid in, it got rejected, and so did...
Chelsea did. Chelsea
put a bid in,
55 million, yeah.
Arsenal put 60 in, and that got rejected. So, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to Arsenal, by the way. It could be Chelsea, it could be Arsenal, it could be potentially Liverpool. We don't know. I know Klopp's come out and said he's not going to sign anyone. But yeah, it could be, potential teams. But let's take Arsenal out of the equation. Unless it was Arsenal that came knocking, is really 5 months too much to ask for you to just give another 5 months to us, see what we do, see what we can achieve. Can we get Europe?
Help us get Europe.
Yeah. And
leave a legend. Leave like a legend.
Yeah. What do you like? Is that 5 months really going to impact your career? You're 21 years of age. It's not like you're at the back end of your career where that 6 months could be potentially massive. You're right at the beginning of your career. This could be.
You win a Premier League. You'll win a Premier League anyway. Like even if Arsenal win it this year.
And it's a money thing as well in terms of you'll get a better transfer fee / agent fees, whatever it might be. Surely you could potentially increase that because that next 5 months you could become a better player. You could achieve more, and obviously your price tag will automatically go up. And secondly, will you potentially, again, will that 5 months really impact the amount we can get right now? I don't think it will. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the timing of it is really frustrating. And
like, what was it 4 days before the window shuts?
Yeah,
and you just think that's so disrespectful.
Yeah,
it's so disrespectful.
I just feel like obviously as well with what happened with Trossard, now Caicedo. Is it like our players now feeling like we can do this now because Brighton will ultimately they will fold at some point down the line.
We don't want to seem like a prison, which will then make players that are going to. No, that's what I'm saying. But like, imagine if you're the next youngster and looks at us going, "Oh, they're holding Trossard and Caicedo as prisoners. Maybe I don't want to use them as the stepping stone, because we are a stepping stone, aren't we? And we're getting these brilliant players because they know that we are very good at letting people go when the time is right, rather than just holding them hostage."
But that's the thing. It's like we've shown our track record proves by the last 10 transfers that we don't hold people back, and we're more than happy for them to go, but. As Tony Bloom has said time and time again, you have to meet our valuation of the player until we let you go. That's simple as that. If we don't feel like we're getting the money for it, and I respect that so highly from Tony Bloom and then all the the higher ups at Brighton, because that takes a lot of bollocks to be able to do that. So we're not letting, and I love that we're not letting these big clubs bully us and like, oh yeah, you should let him go because he wants to progress his career. Okay, cool. We're not saying he can't go, but pay us the money. And we'll let him go. Simple as that. It does frustrate me when I see that sort of, that mentality of we should be making the bigger clubs richer and we should just sort of, bow down to these clubs because they're the top 6 or big 6 or whatever.
I saw one of the worst football takes I've ever seen in my life. Definitely for a long, long time. It was an Arsenal fan who was obviously upset because we've rejected a bid for Moises Caicedo, if Twitter loads. But he said something along the lines of, Brighton are so harsh to like bully us and that sort of stuff and reject these bids. I've got it now.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Oh, he's deleted it. Oh shit. Okay, wait. Let me quickly.
No, but you know what it is with this? Yeah, it's like they have this. What's the word? Entitlement. Yeah, they think they're entitled just to be able to take anyone they want, whenever they want, who they want, at any price they want. That's just not, and I think we're one of the first clubs to actually stand up to them and say no.
I managed to get a screenshot because I kept clicking on it, even said deleted tweet. But when I click on it, it would pop up for like 1 second, so I managed to screenshot it. Is it from Have Your Say the Arsenal Way? And he said, if clubs like Brighton want to overvalue their players and rip off buying clubs, it's about time the big clubs started getting a bigger piece of the TV money pie for compensation. No one is paying Sky to watch tin pot clubs like Brighton. So he's saying that big clubs, the big 6, should get more money because we're overvaluing our players.
That makes zero sense. How about this? How about
ridiculous.
How about you, your club, Arsenal, how about you get better at scouting, get better at identifying talent, and then you wouldn't have this issue, would you? So you wouldn't need to come to Brighton and buy our players. If you had the the system in place, you could do what we're doing. You could be buying the Matomas, you
Yeah.
could be buying the Bonanotes, you could be doing all this stuff, but you're not. So settle yourself, mate.